Hey, Vern.
I was going to go to lunch.
I was just warming you up. Hey guys, Vern Danke here. And today we're here with a special guest, Paul Mcgill.
Hey guys.
And Paul Mcgill has a wonderful YouTube channel. And could you tell us about your channel? It's
Paul in the Philippines, Old Dog New Tricks. And it's just a video diary of my life that I make for myself. And then if people want to come along for the ride, they can.
That's great.
That's the bottom line.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I kind of sensed a little bit of a Jerry Springer tone in there. Is that something that you enjoyed?
I get that all day long. I get that all day. I only watched Jerry Springer twice in my life. And it was when he went national and somebody threw a chair or something like that. And he made the news, and so I watched his show. And I thought, well, this is garbage. But I get Jerry Springer references left and right. I guess I look like him, or I sound like him, or I don't know what the deal is.
I think because you often seem to seek an angle in a story. You try to find some kind of a part in there that could connect to the people and maybe resonate and also be of an interest. That's kind of what I seem to feel.
Hopefully that's the result, but it's really not the intent. When I sit down with somebody, I make it purposely that I don't know them prior to talking to them. Like, I don't really know you.
No.
This is our first time actually sitting down together.
Right.
Am I correct?
Right. We've never broken bread. We haven't even smashed a crack.
No. So I don't really know anything about you. So when I talk to you, I just ask questions if I'm interviewing you as opposed to you interviewing me. And we all just kind of find out together.
Perfect. We explore each other.
So some of the messages end up being really poignant and touching and emotional. And I'm touched and I feel emotional. And I interviewed a little girl that was an orphan. And so she had this really heartwarming or heart-wrenching story. And I had no clue that what was going on. And then I've interviewed other people and they're just totally goofy and funny.
Sure.
And so we just had a goofy, funny video.
That's great.
I like the spontaneity of it. I like the fact that, again, it's just documenting people that I meet, people that I know. And some people I really enjoy the interview, some people I don't enjoy the interview, but I go ahead and share it anyway, you know? And the whole point of it is for me to be able to look back in 2 or 3 years at this video or whatever video and kind of remember the moment.
Sure.
You know?
Nice.
Because back in the day, I had a bunch of pictures of myself that are lost. So high school memories, junior high memories, pictures with my mom, pictures with my dad, they've all blown to the wind. They were the old Polaroids. And they just, you know, I moved so many times and they're gone. And I thought, you know what? I'd like to have something at least now. So that in 10 years, if I'm still walking the planet, I can, you know, come back and look at it.
I get that.
So that's the whole point.
I lost my family's photo album.
Yeah.
It was at my grandparents', and they took everything from my dad's house because he lost his house when I was 15, and everything flooded in this house, and I lost our family's album, and so I can relate to that.
Well, that's what happens. I mean, what do people grab when their house catches on fire? They grab the dog, they grab the kids, and they grab the scrapbook.
There you go.
And away they go.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah.
So like Paul mentioned before, we don't really know each other, so I came up with this little game. And the game is to know his car guy knowledge.
Oh.
And he says he doesn't know a lot of car knowledge, but we're going to find out exactly how much knowledge he knows.
Okay.
And we're going to have a money motivator involved in this. So, Paul, I guess I was wondering first, how Irish are you? Are you like the fighting Irish, the drinking Irish?
I'm Scottish.
Oh, you're Scottish?
Yeah.
I thought you were Irish.
Mcgill
Really?
is our little crown.
Ah.
And so it's more Scotland. And then that's half. And then on my mother's side is German. But I don't know anything about my grandfather because my mother refused to talk about him.
Oh.
So I don't know. I don't really know much about my lineage.
I went through that same thing with my grandma.
Yeah?
Yeah, my dad never knew his dad.
Well, my mom knew her father, but she sure as hell didn't want to talk about it.
Oh boy. They kept those skeletons in the closets back then. They didn't let anything come out, right?
I don't know what old grandpa was up to.
Oh my gosh. It makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
Now we gotta tell it all. Crazy. So I came up with a game.
All right.
And our game today is Bag of Money
Wow.
with some questions.
Okay.
So for every right question, you'll earn a few pesos today.
All right.
All right. So I'm a car guy, and I
Okay,
Since
great.
I was a kid, I grew up knowing a lot about cars, so I
Okay.
figured we're going to do this the proper way.
All right.
Since you were a car dealer
No,
type
I was
person?
actually I sold cars for Toyota for a couple of years. That's where I started, and then I stuck with Toyota for about 7 years. Then I moved over to Ford, and I was always I sold cars for 2 years, and then I was in the finance department.
Okay.
So the cars didn't interest me. It was the paperwork, the credit application, the extended warranties, all the button-up stuff that you have to do after a car's been sold.
Okay.
That I spent over 30 years doing.
So you're not just some evil car salesman guy, which I thought maybe you
One
were
of
at the
them.
beginning. I thought,
Just one of
oh,
them.
here we go. All right, so here's what we got.
Okay, what do we
So
got?
we're going to start off with a 20 peso question first.
Okay.
Now, the first question that we have for Paul, this is called Stump a Car Salesman.
Okay.
Now, number one question for 20 pesos. The first year for the Honda Accord, what year was that? Do you remember?
I don't have the faintest idea.
So you'll have to guess. If you're within 1 year, you get the 20 pesos, Paul.
A Honda Accord. I remember the Prelude because I was looking at one of those.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. I would say maybe 81.
Nope.
Okay.
It was 1976.
Oh shit.
The first year, I didn't think it was that far back either. I was going to guess 85, but it was 1976.
Okay.
All right, so the next one is
out the window.
it's a 20 peso question. Hey, May, we have a little change for you here. Come here, May. If he gets a wrong answer, you get a little change. So we're going to give May a little change. So put that in May's pile.
May's gonna get it all.
She's going to get a little change today. So, all right, so the next
We'll put it right here.
next question for Stump a Car Salesman. I thought of some questions that weren't going to be super easy. So the first Honda car to sell in the U.S., do you remember what that was?
A Corona.
That's what I think. That's a. Did they have one called a Corona?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew the Corolla, but a Corona.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's
Think
the correct answer is it's called the N600.
No clue.
Never.
Never heard
I've
of
never seen one either. So
Never heard of it.
All right, so this
there
is-
goes May.
this is a little tougher. You gotta at least guess on this one.
That was,
All right.
that was a guess.
Maybe he'll get this one. Okay, so in the Corvette in the 1970s, what was the biggest available engine that you could buy in a 1970s Corvette?
I don't know.
It starts with a 4, a number 4. I want you to get this one, Paul.
The biggest size engine?
Biggest sized engine you could get in a 1970s Corvette. And it's the first number is a 4.
First number's a 4. And what are the next numbers?
That's up to you.
The biggest size engine?
Biggest size engine. How many?
4.0.
Not in liters,
Not
but in
liters.
cubic inches.
Oh, cubic inches.
Yes.
I just don't have the faintest idea.
It was the 454.
454.
The 454 was the biggest engine you could get. All right, Paul, you're not
Okay.
doing so good here. We got
No.
some more change for May.
Okay, good for me.
All right, she's going to be able to
She
buy.
gets my money anyway, so it doesn't matter.
All right, so the last Corvette convertible of the 1970s, what year do you think that was?
So I get to guess on this one, because
Okay.
I've got 10 years to guess. I'll say 77.
Oh, it was 75. It was 75. You were so close.
I
1
was
year
so
off, I would have given it
close.
to you. All right. So another question. You sold Fords. So
Actually,
did
I didn't, but okay.
oh, I thought you said you sold Fords a little bit. You went
I sold Toyotas for 2 years, and I went to finance.
Oh, okay, that's what messed me up. I thought maybe it was a Ford. Sorry. It's just bad, isn't
a
it?
bunch of Fords.
I'll edit that.
No, don't edit.
All right. So the question this is for 100 pesos, by the way.
Oh, my
Paul.
God.
If you can get this right, it's a 50-50 shot.
It is.
Did Henry Ford build the first automobile, or did he build the first mass-produced automobile?
Mass produced.
Yes. Ding, ding,
That
ding,
I
ding.
do know. That I do know.
All right.
Very much.
Now, Henry Ford, when he built the Model T, this is also another 100 peso question.
Oh, wow.
When he built the Model T, what color or colors were available on
Black.
Oh, he got it. Look at that.
See?
And do you know what Henry Ford said? He said you could have any color you wanted as long as it was black.
I remember that.
Right? And they painted those cars with garden hoses.
I didn't know that.
Yes. They didn't have all the techniques and stuff that we have today. Garden hoses. Yeah. All right. So we have another 100 peso question before
Here we go.
the final 500 peso question.
Final question.
All right. So what was the average car cost for the year 1969? What did an average car cost?
Okay, it's in the threes. I want to say it's in the threes. So I'll say 3,100.
Ooh, I'll give it to you because that was 3,500.
Well,
that was
you can't give
close.
it to me. I wasn't with him.
Well, you
That's
guessed
a me.
Okay, well, that's okay. She can have it. Then you don't feel guilty. No pity party for you, right?
We got to stick within the rules.
All right. So here, this is for 500 pesos.
And that's all a car is worth today.
This
by
is
the way.
well, probably right. So for 500 pesos,
Yeah.
what was the biggest available engine offered in the Chevrolet Monza in 1975? The biggest engine that you could buy. Was it a V6 or a V8?
Well, that's a 50-50.
1975.
75.
V6 or V8?
75 was kind of like the gas crunch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I'll go with a V6 because of the gas crunch. May, you made 500.
Sorry, Paul. Sorry, Paul. We're going to give that to May.
See, I tried to think that one through.
So
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is
You-
not my next.
no, you're going to
Okay.
go for You better start selling rice next, Paul. So
Yeah.
you were from California, right?
Yes.
Now, in California,
Yeah.
in 1975, the Chevrolet V8 305 was not set up for DEQ at that point.
What's DEQ?
The emission standards.
Oh, okay.
So they came up with the lowest horsepower 350 they could find, 125 horse, and that was the engine that they put into the Chevrolet Monza. For 1 year only, you could buy it with a V8, a subcompact car with a V8 engine,
Okay.
which was pretty crazy. So, yeah, crazy. Well, thank you, Paul. Thank you for playing.
Thanks for
May's-
having me on
May's
the,
got a little
on the
money.
big show. May really thanks you for my ignorance.
There you go. Where in California did you come from?
I was born in Panorama City. I was actually born in Hollywood.
Oh.
Kaiser Hospital.
No kidding.
Los Angeles, I think, is on my birth certificate. My dad told me it was Hollywood. And Kaiser Hospital on Hollywood Boulevard, I think. Yeah.
Wow. So were you like a rich kid back then, or a poor
My
kid?
father was a bellman at the Beverly Hills Hotel at that time. And I think I was 2 years old, 2 or 3 years old, and he went into real estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you ever see any stars or anything there that was kind of exciting where you were growing up?
I met stars when I started working. I never know. My father was not friends with, but he was associated to some small degree with Howard Hughs.
Oh, no kidding.
Howard Hughes used to stay at the Beverly Hills Hotel
Wow.
back in the 50s and the 60s. My father was a bellman. And Howard Hughes, my father, I should say, was Howard Hughes's go-to guy. So my dad would work this goofy shift, you know, of like something midnight till morning, you know. And Howard Hughes was his night owl. And so he would do all of his thinking at 3 and 4 and 5 in the morning while everybody was asleep. That was his schedule. And my father would get phone calls at like, or they'd say, you know, Dick Mcgill pick up the phone. He'd pick it up and it was Howard Hughes. And Howard Hughes would tell him to go do stuff. For example, one of the stories, he said that Howard Hughes said, "Dick, this is Howard." My dad's like, "Yeah, I know Mr. Hughes." He said, "I want you to go to cabana number 7. I want you to, the door will be unlocked. I want you to walk in. I want you to take 4 paces forward. Don't look to the left or the right, Dick. And then you're going to come to a bedroom on the right. Open that door. Walk in. Turn on the TV and tune it into channel 4. Retreat your steps back, but don't look left and don't look to the right."
What?
So my dad would go out to cabana 7. He would go in. He would follow the directions. Sure enough, the door's unlocked. Sure enough, he took 4 steps. You were at a bedroom. He went in. Sure enough, there's a TV. He'd turn it on. He'd turn it on channel 4. He'd come out. And then the next morning there would be an envelope with $100 bill in it.
Oh my gosh.
And my dad's mortgage was $90.
Wow.
The house that I grew up in. And so that's one of about 7 or 8 stories that he told me about Howard Hughs.
Wow.
And I asked him the obvious question. I said, Dad, was there anybody in the cabana? He said it was completely empty. I said, did you look to the left and the right? He goes, of course I did.
That's great. And what was there?
I couldn't help it. You know, someone tells you don't touch that, you gotta touch it. It's like, what's around the corner here? But anyway, he just said he said, you know, another real quick story. He said one time management had told him, my father being who they told, there's some bum out by the pool, go kick him off the grounds. And my dad ran out there, and he could see from afar it was Howard Hughes, and he was there with a torn shirt, a big tear in the back with half his ass hanging out.
Oh my gosh!
And just in a big hat, big fedora hat, just wandering around, kind of mumbling to himself. And he just sort of, Mr. Hughes, is everything all right? And he goes, yeah, Dick, everything's fine. You know.
Oh my gosh!
And off my dad would go.
So he was mentally ill in some way.
He was, yeah. He had been in a number of plane crashes. He was very eccentric. Towards the end, if you've listened to anything about Howard Hughes, I studied him because of my father's association with him for a short period of time.
Sure.
And he was just a fascinating figure when I was growing up. You know, he built the Spruce Goose and did all this stuff for the government. And,
I got to go in that plane.
Did you?
At the museum
at
in
the
McGill.
Long Beach? Oh.
They have, that's where its home is now.
Okay.
And
all right.
before the wings were on it, we could go in there. They had it on display at the Air Museum there in Mcgill, Oregon. So that was pretty cool. That's a big plane.
Yeah. He was a cool guy. He was the Elon Musk of his time. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
He was out there.
Yeah.
I didn't have like a script or anything planned up. And I'll edit that part out actually. So, what I really try to discover when I interview somebody here, what it takes for you to finally say, I am moving out of the U.S. Because it's not something that a person decides lightly. It's not a quick decision. It's something, usually a progression of things. And then finally, you want more out of life than what you can get in that environment. So for you, what was the tipping point for you to finally say, I'm gonna go explore life, I'm gonna live, I'm gonna cash out of this society and try to find out if there's more value somewhere else?
Yeah. I kind of had the answer to that before I did it. So it was kind of a cheat. Because in 2005, I took a vacation and I came over to Southeast Asia to meet a friend.
Okay.
And I came for 2 weeks and ended up staying for 2 or 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Because I had that freedom at that time. And once I got home from that vacation, the die had been cast. And that was it. So I just knew. It was just a matter of getting to retirement age and setting myself up for it.
So how long, from then till the time that you actually came here, how long had that?
Well, let's see, when did I move here? 2016, I think I moved here. 17, something like that. It's been 3 years. So I was disenchanted, to say the least, with my situation. I wasn't disenchanted with America. I love my country. There's nothing wrong. You know, all the current events that are going on right now still don't affect me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like, it's kind of like that's the way America is. And so, but there was no options left. You know, when you're 30 years old, you've got this many options, right? I mean, you're at your peak earning. You're probably in good physical shape. You look good. If you're in the romance end of things, you got options as far as that goes. Getting a good job, you've got options. And then you get to 40, and then you get to 50, and then you get to 60, and then you get older, and this is kind of how your options go. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know, the options of being able to live on a low amount of money was down here.
Right.
With America. The options of meeting somebody that I am attracted to and compatible to are down here. The options of making new friends or exploring new places are down here. But then when I go to the Philippines, the options of living on a smaller budget, the option of finding someone that I'm attracted to, the options of making new friends goes right back up to here.
I agree.
So that's it's just math.
So you just wait it out. You're like, oh yeah, okay, see ya. I'm out of here.
You know, I think the key is I would never have made. It would never have even entered my mind had I not made that trip in 2005. Because I'd bought into what I had been sold, which was when you get to my age, you retire, and either you've done it right and you've got your house paid for and your car paid for, and you've got a 401k and you have an annuity and you have a savings. So in other words, your finances are not an issue.
Right.
And you're supposed to be able to draw on you're supposed to retire later and take the most money that you can. This is all the conventional wisdom that I bucked. And then you're supposed to clean out your garage and putter around the house. And if you're still married, you're supposed to buy an RV and go travel. And then, or the rest of your life is bouncing around visiting your grandchildren, and then you die. You know, that's kind of like what retirement meant to me in America. If I'm in a functioning relationship, if I've got everything paid off, if everything lines up, if I follow all the commercials that I've been watching for 50 years on how it's supposed to work when I get to this age. But that's not how it worked for me, thank God. You know, I got pushed into looking into another angle. And the angle was, I don't know what the angle would have been if I hadn't made, I keep going back to that trip I made in 2005. Because the furthest I'd ever been was Mexico and Canada up until then.
Okay.
And I knew Mexico was dangerous for a long time, in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. And I knew guys that had moved to Mexico, and that was the first alternative for guys my age. But then they all started coming back because of the cartel stuff, and the drugs, and the kidnappings, and then the terrorists, and all this other nonsense that came into our lives. And Canada, I mean, you know, Canada's Canada. So, Asia, sorry. You're a real dick. Sorry. That's a Canadian. that's my Canadian impression. So,
all I remember is Bob and Doug McKenzie and the Beer Hunter. That's all I remember.
Sorry. And what else? So yeah, man. I mean, I did, however. One thing I did, whether I made that trip or not, I did start Googling, as a lot of guys do, top 10 places to retire on a budget. So that again, the 2005 trip was a big thing because I was just new in 2005 that this is where I was going to end up. So I felt very blessed by that. It was, I already knew that I was going here or somewhere. But I did start to Google top 10 places to retire. And so possibly I would have found my way here anyway without that trip.
So I watched one of your videos and I thought maybe at some point you were kind of frustrated with the Philippines. Was that right? And you were thinking of going somewhere else? Was that something you still are thinking about, or are you kind of settled into this area?
Yeah, I did a number of videos. I don't know which one you're referring to exactly.
It was before you were big and famous. I saw one of your videos and you were like, yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. I might go try somewhere else.
Actually, that whole video was, if I know what you're talking, it's called I'm Leaving Dumaguete. I think that's the one.
That sounds familiar.
And that was kind of a trick. That was kind of a trick thumbnail. Because at the end of the day, I mentioned all the things that frustrate me about the Philippines. But at the end of the day, at the end of the video, I rewound it to the fact that they're insignificant compared to what you gain living here, what I gain living here, compared to going to America or whatnot.
So your heart's still here. You're still
Oh,
settled
absolutely.
here. Okay, cool.
Absolutely. I'm 100%. I'm dove in. I'm still open to other places. I know a lot of guys are fed up with all the things that you and I get fed up with. Hopefully I'm not putting words in your mouth. But there's the shortages, there's the brownouts, there's the this, there's the bad roads, there's the bug bites, there's all these things that you might be able to bypass if you went somewhere else. So I like to think that I've got an open mind. Like some friends are going to Malaysia as soon as things open up.
Right.
Kuala Lumpur.
Right.
Apparently, the cost of living there is the same, if not less. The food's better. This is better. That's better. So why not go there and check it out? I went to Vietnam and checked it out and decided I don't want to live in Vietnam.
Okay.
I went to Indonesia and checked it out while here and decided I don't want to live in Indonesia. So I could go. I've been to Thailand. I know I don't want to live in Thailand, but there are awesome places to go visit while I'm here. So to me, the Philippines, as a worst case scenario, is an awesome home base.
I agree.
So you know what I mean?
I totally
So I
agree.
can set up with a nice, comfortable little apartment that I've got. I got a nice little girlfriend, and her and I can now go, and we can go check these places out together because they're so close. So boom, you go to Vietnam for a couple of weeks, you Airbnb it, you get the discount flight for $400 or $500. You've got your 1 year vacation.
Perfect.
And that's what I take. I take a vacation once a year.
Because
Still
you
the
need a home.
COVID thing.
You need a home base anyway, right?
You got to live somewhere.
Right.
You
So
know?
I think that's smart. I'm kind of the same
There
position you're in.
are guys that I've observed that travel 24/7. I mean, in other words, they'll set up for 3 months Airbnb, or they just know how to do it. You know, they've been doing it for 10 or 15 years. So they'll bump into Vietnam, they'll hang out for 3 months, then they'll bump into the Philippines, they'll hang out for 3 months, and then they go here, and sometimes they go to Paris, and then, you know, just whatever the budget allows. And they never settle down. So there's that aspect. But they're in the minority. I think for myself, just speaking for me, the Philippines gives me everything that I need. There's nothing here that is so intolerable that I have to bail out. You know?
That's good. That's good. You can have that mindset. Some
Yeah.
people, they're so disenfranchised back home that they tend to focus on all the negatives and not really boost up the positives. And so there's a guy that has a channel, and I'll mind if I plug it? It's Kyle Jennerman and Becoming Filipino. And what I've discovered is if you want to really embrace the joy here, learning to become Filipino and trying to take all that frustration and kind of blow it aside is where the joy comes from here.
Yeah, there is victory in failure. So, in other words, when I first got here, it used to frustrate me that it would take X amount of minutes to just get a menu from somebody. You know what I mean? It would frustrate me that I'd go to a store and it would be out of stock. It would frustrate me that I would go somewhere and the guy didn't know what I was talking, or I didn't get the service that I thought I should get, blah, 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 blah. You go on and on and on. Well, the victory is that now I go to a restaurant and I've conquered that. I know that I'm not going to get a menu.
For good service.
And I'm good with that.
Your expectations have lowered.
And so it's just like, it's like I've conquered that.
Right.
That being pissed off or being frustrated or getting anxious, I know walking through the door that it's going to be a circle jerk just trying to get my food on the table. But it's all good.
You're no
You know
longer
what I mean?
triggered by it.
No, man, I got May, and I hardly ever go anywhere alone, you know, and so I just figure, okay, I got 15 minutes for me and her to talk.
Nice.
You know, and then the menu will show up, and then we got another 30 minutes till they finally figure that out. And I've learned how to order. So I was at a restaurant a couple of weeks ago now with 2 other couples, and the little girl was taking my order, and I almost got there, you know, because I said, I want this, and I've learned, you wait until they write that, and then they finish, and then I got their attention again. Okay, she wrote down that I want a pizza. Good, right on. Everybody's the same. And I want a cup of hot coffee, brewed coffee, and I wait, and she writes, and I know that now we're good. And then I said, and May wants, I'll point to the menu, and we have our routine. May knows to let me order. And so boom, boom. And that's what you do. I've learned that you have to let them complete the one task before you move on to task number 2. And then my friend went to order.
Messed it all up.
Oh, completely. He said, okay, I'll have the pizza. Started to write, and he goes, hey, do you have? And then all of a sudden the pizza didn't get written down because she stopped to listen to what he was saying. And long story short, my food came out perfect. He got 2 cold coffees instead of a hot one and no pizza.
Jeez.
I was like, I saw that one coming, buddy.
So just like the car sales, you
But
learn
of course,
to work
I
the
didn't
angles.
mention anything to him because I wanted to, I have that evil side of me. So I was like, well, I was eating my delicious food. He was drinking a cold coffee instead of a hot one.
So you know how to get the results that you want. Maybe your car sales thing kind of worked for that, kind of to your advantage to try to work within the parameters that you have to work with.
I don't know. I have a great deal of patience, and I also, if I was to talk about myself, I've said this before, I love people watching, and I like to observe people. And so when something becomes redundant and I'm perpetually making a mistake, I think, well, how can I correct this? And that's how I learned how to order in a restaurant. I kept getting everything getting screwed up. And I said, well, it's not them, it's me.
I never thought about that. That's interesting.
Well, because everywhere I go, my order's getting screwed up.
That's
so
a good point.
The common denominator isn't the restaurants. I've been to 15. It's me. What do I need to do? So I just observed. And by watching, I don't know why they do this, but they do it. They have to they will hand write out Hawaiian pizza. Okay? And then they'll look at me and they'll ask how many, and I'll say 1. And then they put a 1. So I've watched them, being a people watcher. And just admitting that, okay, I'm the fault here. How do I fix it? And it evolved into, we're talking about menus, but that was how I learned how to order.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think it's got anything to do with the car business.
That's
You
okay.
keep wanting to go back to these friggin' motor sizes and shit.
That's all right. So Paul, tell me about your channel. What is your future focus? What is the direction you want your channel to go? How is that going for you? What do you want to get out of your channel in the future?
I just like doing what I do. It's a hobby. It's a video diary of my life.
Okay.
And so I don't see it changing. The only thing that's changed is Baby May started a channel. And so, I don't know, my channel tends to go through cycles. It's like, recently I've been promoting other channels. I tell people I'll shamelessly promote anybody that wants to come on the channel.
Oh, wow.
And so 3 or 4 people have taken me up on that, and they've come on the channel. And they've increased their viewership to some degree, which is satisfying.
That's great.
Things happen on my channel that I never expect to happen. And it's very gratifying. So, and then funny things happen on my channel. So, I don't have any real plan or focus with it. Except to just keep doing what I do until it's no longer fun.
It just goes where it goes, as long as you're enjoying it.
It just goes where it's got a life of its own.
Okay.
And if I tried to control it or produce it or manage it, then it would lose its soul. And I want here's the way I look at it. There are some people that go into YouTube, and did you ever see the movie Titanic?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, Titanic is this huge movie, right? And it's massively popular and totally profitable. And completely produced and edited, and that's how some people treat their YouTube channel. Okay, they want to make as much money as possible. They want to have as many subscribers as possible. They want to be number 1. And I, on the other hand, want to be the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
You want to throw spaghetti in the middle of the movie.
I want to have my little cult.
I get that. I get that.
You know? And if nobody else subscribes from this point forward, that's just fine. As long as everybody else is having a good time, we're
Right.
good. I have absolutely. It's not how I make money. It's just that money is kind of like a byproduct. It's not that much. I give all the money to May anyway, and so that's our deal. And so I'm more interested in her channel. And so when you talk about editing and this and that and the other, she's got an interest in that. So we're going to work on getting her, more to where it's I guess palatable. I don't know. Because I do what I do and she does what she does, and so my focus now is to kind of help her with what she's doing.
And what's the name of her channel if people
It's
want to
called
check it out?
Baby May's Cooking Adventure.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Great.
and so everybody needs to watch Baby May's Cooking Adventure.
There you go. Well, hey, thanks a lot, Paul. Thanks
Yeah, man.
for letting me interview you.
Oh, sure.
And I hope everybody would get a chance to check out his channel and subscribe if you would, and spread the love. So
All right.
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Vern.